chapter is unraveling in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. This is a story of resilience, transformation, and opportunity. Since the discovery of crude oil in Oloibiri nearly 70 years ago, international oil companies (IOCs) have dominated the industry. But over the last 2 decades, a group of indigenous independent oil and gas companies, supported by progressive government policies and strategic IOC divestments, have emerged. In 2015, these companies came together to form IPPG. IPPG is committed to the renaissance of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and ultimately the socio-economic development of Nigeria. Since its establishment, IPPG has emerged as the leading and credible voice of the industry and a reliable partner in growing and developing the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
IPPG would like to express its sincere appreciation to the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for the progressive and impactful reforms being undertaken to move the industry forward. Most notably, the conclusion of the IOC divestments, which transfers control of the onshore and shallow water acreages to indigenous operators. This is considered a very worthy achievement for this administration. IPPG member companies' contribution to national oil production has grown exponentially from 3% to almost 50% currently. With our investments in refineries and gas processing plants, we expect to play a critical role in the industrialization and economic diversification of our nation.
Over the past decade, Nigerian independent producers have significantly increased their contribution to national crude oil and gas production. The completion of the latest IOC divestment marks a defining moment. Indigenous operators are poised to lead the future of the industry.
I see this as a golden age for the indigenous practitioner. I see ourselves as flag bearers for a nation, flag bearers for a generation, and flag bearers for a discipline which hitherto has always been foreign. So it's like our independence in the oil industry.
Well, let me just start by saying what an achievement it's been for Nigeria itself. To go through a number of acquisitions, probably over $5 billion worth of acquisitions all at the same time. And it's testament right to the top of the house with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his intentions for this industry, right through to the ministers, to the regulators, to the state government in various cases, and also to our partner, NNPC. This is quite an achievement for all of these things to get approved, and it was transformed the industry. For Seplat itself, it's transformed us as a business. We've gone from 7 onshore blocks, delivering both gas and oil, to now 11 blocks, 7 onshore, 4 in the shallow water offshore.
Whereas in other climes where we've seen maturity and internationals moving away, they are normally replaced by smaller international companies. But in Nigeria, I'm so proud to say that as the international majors are moving away, it's Nigerian indigenous companies like Renaissance that are stepping in to take their place. And for me, that's a very, very, very big opportunity for us to be able to grow the requisite capacity.
Nigeria stands as a leader in Africa's oil and gas sector. No other country within sub-Saharan Africa can boast of the level of indigenous participation across the oil and gas industry value chains. Our influence now extends beyond Africa, underscoring Nigeria's leading position in the global energy space. The pioneer chairman of IPPG, a seasoned industry professional, Ademola Adeyemi Bero, was recently appointed chairman of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC Board of Governors for 2025. This is a testament of the progress made by the country and the inherent wealth of expertise that now resides within Nigerian independence.
When this company started, the forebearers that started the company wanted an upstream business, an energy company that is fully democratized in terms of participation. meaning that everybody, every Nigerian from every walk of life would have the opportunity of equity ownership and participation in an industry that had been the exclusive preserve of foreign internationals. So when we listed in October 2024, it was the fulfillment of a dream that was carefully curated to so many investors when we started. For us, our listing is just another step of affirmation that we have come into our own as indigenous companies. We are able to hold the industry very well, and we are just one of many indigenous companies. At the last count, maybe 3 of us are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
IPPG members are investing heavily in infrastructure and technology, advocating for policy reforms, and partnering with stakeholders to enhance the efficiency and productivity of the industry. Progressive independents have also demonstrated an appetite for supporting the government's energy security vision by building broader value-adding midstream and downstream businesses, emerging as fully integrated energy companies and creating viable linkages to the broader economy.
We're committed to the future of Nigeria, and if you look at it, there's a lot of potential in this onshore play.
Well, we're all collaborators now because we're all indigenous companies delivering into a market. Thank God for the fact that our production is in requirement by the rest of the world. So there's no competition amongst us. There's only a collaboration. And I expect to see a lot of the indigenous companies collaborate on shared resources, shared technology, shared personnel, and also shared platforms, not just terminals and pipelines, but tanks, all sorts of things which we can do together to reduce costs, to enable us to deal with the overall challenge of being efficient, financially buoyant, as well as profitable.
I see that future where we will also, of a necessity, be forced to build our own talent. When the majors arrived, they didn't have a choice. They had to import talent. And then over time, they built Nigerian local talent. But the IOCs were very deliberate and intentional in growing the local talents they need for the future. But we also are at a point where what we've inherited is the talents that have been built by someone else for a different purpose. We now need to be intentional and deliberate in defining the talent of the future and the talent for the future.
The future of Nigeria is extremely bright. We're on the map, and there's no doubt about it that we are the most dominant player in Africa, and Africa is so critical to the growth of the world. And I think this sector within Nigeria is really going to bang the drum globally.
Ultimately, the industry's success will be measured by its ability to deliver on 3 critical elements: energy independence, energy affordability, energy availability for development and growth.
With a strong foundation and a clear vision, IPPG is poised to shape Nigeria's energy landscape for decades to come. Our unwavering commitment to the socio-economic development of Nigeria and dedication to excellence will ensure that Nigeria's oil and gas industry remains competitive and prosperous.
Rise up Nigeria, our voices ignite. Driving progress, we are the change. Standing as one, committed to grow. IPPG leads the way. IPPG.
IPPG, collaborating for energy prosperity.